Hey and welcome to this new video of learning ECMAScript6. So in this video it will be like our debut with event, and to make you understand event more we will do them with example. So let's start our first example with event. So what the example will contain, so first I will delete this, and let's have for example a UL. So UL, and inside of it let's have just 3 LE. Let's generate that. Here let's type for example item 1, item 2 for example, and item 3 at the end. And let's give it an ID. So ID equal for example UL list. So UL list, and let's have also a form. So form action method. Let's type in method post, and let's have an input. So input type text. Okay, and let's give it an ID. My input for example, and let's have the submit button. So input type submit, where it is submit, and here it is. So type submit and the value for example submit also. Save. Let's see this in our browser, so refresh. Here it is. Now what we will do in this example is for example we will type something in here, and when we click on submit he will be like adding to this list automatically without refreshing the web page. So and here also in this form, if we click on submit normally, because we use post here in PHP, that's mean he must take us to another page, stored data and server or something like that, and come back again. So here when I click submit, see this, the page will like refresh, see. But what we will do is here we will type something, click on submit, and it will come directly to here. So let's go and start that. Let's go to our index first. Let's have this UL. So let's use const for example my UL equal to document get element by ID, and ID was UL list. So now we have this UL. Now let's give that also an ID. I think we will need it. My form, save, go back, and let's have another constant to our form also. So my form equal document get element by ID, and the ID was my form, I think also. Yeah, my form. And now let's go inside the event, or let's make an event to this form. So my form dot add event, and here it is, add event listener, and it has two parameters. The first is like the event that we want to have, and this is like a bunch of event that we can have, and in this case we will have like a submit event. So let's type it, submit event, and here in the second parameter we have like a function. So let's make an anonymous function. So function, and it's the event and after that we open our bracket and we start typing the code. So first to tell to tell JavaScript that when we click on submit we don't want like this refresh, we tell it by typing prevent default. So prevent default, and it's a function. Prevent default because the default thing when we click on a submit button, it refresh the page and it go to, as I told you, to another, for example, programming language, maybe for example in PHP, to stock the data that we send it in here. But we said like to prevent default. That's mean when we click we will not like have this this refresh. So let's continue. After that, let's create another variable. So const, or no, let's have this input. So let's name it also my input. So my input equal to get document get element by id. So this element by id, and id was my input. And after that, let's use what we studied before to create element. So new le or li equal document dot create element, and element that we want to create is le. And now not just the le, but we want like the value of this input, not just the input, because if we type this we will have like we will have basically this thing, but we want the value that we type in the input, or the text that we type in here. So here I need to add dot value in the input. So dot value, not value, just value. And after that, let's, with this new le dot inner text equal to this input, or the value of this input. It's my input, and let's append child. So let's use this ul. So my ul dot append child, and the child that we want to append is this new le. So now let's save. Now let's go and see if like this thing is all correct, or what we type is right. So let's refresh. Let's type, for example, item 4, click on submit, undefined, I don't know why is that. So here let's see this ul. So console.log my input, not ul, input I mean, sorry. Go back, refresh. Let's open this inspect element, or the navbar console. We type item 4, submit, and we have here undefined. That means something is incorrect in here. Yeah, the error here is this value v, it needs to be in lowercase. So just make sure this v in lowercase. Now let's just let's delete console log, save, go back to our to our like browser, refresh item 4. Now let's submit, and we see that it type here directly. For example, item 5 submit, and it's automatically added without refreshing the page. Here we see that, for example, after we click on submit, we see that, well, this form normally it's good to be empty. So how we can do that? Let's go here and type my form, and we have function called .reset. So where is it? Reset, and it's a function. Reset. Yeah, like this. Let's go refresh. Item 4, for example, submit. This means I didn't type it well. Yeah, here reset without the E. Save now. So form reset, go back to your browser, refresh. Now let's type item 4, click on submit, and we say that it's working. 5, for example, submit, and like it's working fine. So this is what we called prevent default in the event. So in the next video we'll be talking about the key event. So this is all for this video. See you next.